It's a Saturday morning, possibly when you're viewing this, and you know that usually means, hey, let's open our phones, open the Sneakers app specifically, and try our damnedest to get a new release by either Nike or Jordan Brand. Now, I understand I'm in the same boat as a lot of you, and I know there's a lot of frustration within the sneaker game right now, where it stands, the difficulty to cop the basic releases that you want. We're not even talking collaborative sneakers, we're just talking basic shoes that you want. It's a hassle now. So much to the point, some people are ready to walk away from the game itself. And if you guys are not already subscribed to Eddie Win Kicks, he did a great video last weekend touching on people's frustrations with Sneakers app, but he made really good points about why Nike and Sneakers app, like why they don't care collectively. And I just kind of want to give some of my thoughts as well on that topic, because he made amazing points, but I think there's one, at least that tends to frustrate me when it comes to this discussion. And it's not about my frustration with the brand of Nike in itself. No, it's actually not. It's with sneakerheads. It's with us. It's with you and, well, not really myself, but it's with fellow people, peers, sneakerheads within this space who are so, I don't know, narrow-minded, self-centered, narcissistic in a way to think that Nike's sole purpose, or at least the top priority on their agenda to their shareholders, is to sneakerheads. Like, please wake up, because you've totally forgotten what Nike is in the business of, and it's not sneakers.
I surround my soul with the positivity. That's why I don't worry about the things that I don't see. Yeah. These days I don't worry about much. I think we should have some more fun. I still dream about the days when we were young. I'll take a hit and still finish and one.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl TJ back with another video talks with TJ, aka TJ Two Shoes Chains. I hope you guys are having an amazing day. When you're reviewing this, if you're brand new, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. I truly appreciate you all dropping a comment down below as well. Let me know your thoughts on this video. I understand that we may not all agree, and that's fine. Our opinions and thoughts on things don't need to walk hand in hand. We're not gonna walk hand in hand, not just because of COVID, but we're not gonna walk hand in hand. So it's okay if we don't agree. I can guarantee you neither one of us is gonna suffer at the end of the day. Now, 5 minutes from now, 5 years from now, that's how you should look at life. Two Switch Crew, thank you guys so much for tuning into this video, and we will dive right on in. Now, yes, I'm rocking my Nike Just Do It, and it's about actions speak louder than anything on the back. This is one of my favorite hoodies, and it's not really in relation to the video. I just thought, why not go ahead and throw this on? But we are truly talking about Nike, Sneakers app, the frustration that people face, and the fact that they don't care. But it's not because you think they are heartless, or why would they give a damn about sneakerheads, right? Because even though we feel as if we are the driving force behind their earnings and the dividends and everything, all of the financial success that Nike experiences quarter to quarter to quarter, right? The market share they hold in this space is insane. It's unprecedented almost. I mean, to be very honest with you, and I don't see them relinquishing that. I don't see them giving that up. To be honest with you, they're on their Francis Underwood agenda. They are trying to solidify where they stand and only improve on it, which bravo to them. Absolutely. That's what you should do when you are a business. But I think a lot of you have forgotten, what is Nike's business? I think a lot of sneakerheads tend to forget what Nike is in the business of. So that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to feel a little bit like Sneaker Fetish. I'm going to be on my friend's vibe right here, okay? Because we will pull up some side-by-side paneling here of the Q2 earnings call, because I'll be honest with you, I didn't see Sneakerheads mentioned in that earnings call whatsoever, and I read the transcript. So let's just start with, what is Nike in the business of? They're in the business of sport. Sport. Like, sport is active movement. It's athletic prowess. It's fortitude. It's coordination. It's skill. Sport, movement, fluid movement, right? The whole Nike swoosh, right? Movement. That's what Carolyn Davidson was behind, right? Literally, movement. Not what we sometimes, I think, get so pigeonholed by, of what Nike is in the business of, it's not just sneakers, right? And if you were to even think that it was just sneakers, it's not sneakers to look good, right? Like sitting down on your ass and doing nothing is not a sport. So that's not what Nike is actually in the business of. Like, there are those, actually the majority of those, that buy into Nike, the brand, the message, all in itself. And it has nothing to do with Jordans. It has to do with actual athletic, like, shoes, like, used for movement, not lifestyle. And so I think that's what's lost on a lot of sneakerheads now. Nike is in the business of sport, okay? More specifically, if we want to look at their mission statement, all right? And I'm pulling this directly from their website, okay? You can always check this out. They're a publicly traded company. I would advise you do that for these companies that you're so gung-ho about. So Nike, they are in the business of sport. They want to create an experience of inclusion where everyone feels like they belong. Because if I were to ask you, according to Nike, if you have a body, you should answer an athlete after that. If you can't, you've totally lost the message of Nike. It's gone. It went over your head. I'm terribly sorry. But you know what the funny part is? People complain about Nike and SNKRS App and not being able to get the shoes that they want and how terrible this is. Nike is doing exactly what Nike set out to do. Look at their mission. Look at their vision. They want to create an experience of inclusion for athletes because everyone is an athlete if you have a body. Let's dive a little bit deeper, though, into what it is that they really want to create. So they want you, they are in the business of must-have products. They didn't say you would have those products. They said must-have products. And if you ask me, they've done their job because we've all felt at some point, if you played a sport, if you had any amount of athletic ability, you saw the stories, you saw your heroes in athletics on the fields, right? Courts, track and field, pool, I don't care. You saw them out there, could have been an ice rink, doesn't matter. You saw them out there and you wanted to be just like them, or at least to the best of your own physical ability. So you wanted to have the shoes, the sweatshirt, the shorts, the sports bra, the socks, whatever. Didn't matter. You wanted it head to toe and the bag. And you probably begged mom and dad to be able to get that because they became must-have products. So Nike did its job, correct? Correct. Nike did its job there. They're still doing their job. We still feel like we must have shoes that we don't wear. We still feel like we must have shoes that a lot of you don't even like. I know you don't like them because you sell them 3 to 4 months later. I know you don't like them. You even have on your Instagram, got them, but don't even know why I went after these, or got them, but I don't really want them. So they have done their job. They've done their diligence there to all the shareholders. And I'm a very small one, but at least, hell, I'm one of them. So the next thing, they want to create a compelling retail experience. Let's break down compelling because I can go anywhere and get a retail experience and it might not leave me with a whole lot. Compelling means you can't resist. It's overwhelming. Can you resist going into the SNKRS app? Because I'll be honest with you, I don't plan on buying shoes this week. I don't know that I'm buying shoes next week. And I don't find myself like I don't feel as if I can't control going into the SNKRS app. A lot of you live, breathe, and die in the SNKRS app. You really do. So they're doing their job there again. But the compelling experience for me shopping is the actual Nike app. We'll get into that a little bit later. It's not the SNKRS app, but they've done their job there too, haven't they? They've created this experience you can't resist because you can't resist the got 'em, or you can't resist maybe if I watch every single story that is on the SNKRS app, I will have a chance to get a shoe that I kind of want, kind of don't want, but I can post it and everybody will be like, oh my God, you got them, right? So they did their job. But it had nothing to do with sneakerheads, right? Okay, let's move on. If we look at the actual breakdown of the Q2 earnings call, and you are free to listen in on these calls a lot of times, but based on when they may be, listen, it's easier just to get the transcript of the call because you can really break down everything. Now, I will say this, having listened to an actual call before of an earnings call and then read the transcript, knowing the inflection that was at certain points in someone's voice was actually really interesting when I was able to look back and look at the transcript from it. Yes, there are times where I listen in on earnings calls and know it's not necessarily related to Nike, but you can listen in, you can know what's going on. And let me tell you, I read the transcript for the Q2 earnings call. Let's break down, okay? what does Nike exist for? Because they say it, like John and the CEO, CFO, they talk about this when they're answering the media's questions. Nike exists to progress sport. Okay, that was in there. Do you know what I did not see in there? I'm going to run down the list of what I didn't see because I have it written down here, okay? I didn't see that Nike exists to please Jordan heads. I didn't read Nike exists to grow your collection so you can show it off on Instagram. I didn't read that Nike exists to outfit your feet with heat. You don't even like it. It's just the fact that it's worth $1,000 to $1,500 to $2,000 now that you care about it. And I didn't read anywhere that Nike exists to bring back the first retro you ever had. Huh. Shit. So, that being the case, Nike does not exist to serve sneakerheads. They exist to progress sport. So sneakerheads, in the small part of the larger global stratosphere of sport in itself, they're not here just to serve you. Wow. Who would have thought? Right? Like, it wasn't really like eye-opening to me. I knew this, but maybe it's eye-opening to you. I don't know. Let's go a little further. So, continuing to look at the call transcript, Nike grew. They did extremely well, to say the least, despite COVID, and they were able to pivot and advance their digitization ahead of time of what they had in mind for it. And when you look at the specific area that grew, because I know, having had talked to somebody within Nike before, I knew that women, that division, that is their focus, their market. As much as you think that women shop, when it comes to athletic brands, they still don't really have a foothold on the female market. Like, they don't. They're still struggling to make it a really big part of their brand and the consumer that they actually have a hold of, because think about the amount that women shop, right? Whether it's for the home, themselves, doesn't matter. Women shop a lot. If you can get a woman to buy in and be loyal to you, whew, ask a dude who doesn't have a loyal woman anymore, okay? So if you can get a woman to be loyal to you as a brand when it comes to shopping, you will be great. You will be stellar. You will certainly surpass whatever it is you set out to do in terms of growing in this space for market share. So women, they actually grew 9% quarter over quarter, which is great. And they did that by innovation and brand momentum. So they are very much still, they have a focus. I didn't see sneakerheads in there, though. And when it comes to them growing the women's market, they're having to cater to the women's needs, preferences, fit, style, colors. I mean, they're still not getting all that right. When it comes to Jordans in itself, that's the other thing. When the certain markets they are trying to go in and tap after, they're not always doing that well. But if you look at the sport aspect of it, they do great. They have new training shoes coming out, new running shoes all the time. They do great, especially with women. The new Infinna line, the new maternity line, did wonders, sold out. So, beyond just the women's part, right? Nike also touched on how their apps were doing, right? And this ties a little bit back into what Eddie Wynn was talking about. So they said here, actually, before I get to that, let me get to the part that's probably going to really upset you. So they were discussing supply and demand. They said they're going to have a cautious approach moving forward. Do you know what that means? They're not flooding the market with the shoes you want. They're not upping supply. Why on earth, as a business, do you think they would ever jeopardize the supply outweighing the demand so that there would be a chance that shoes would sit? Because how many get up here and perpetuate, oh my God, shoes are sitting. No one cares. Oh my God, look at this shoe sitting. It's trash. For all of you who say Nike doesn't listen, no, I think they listen. I do think they listen. You clown them when shoes sit. So now that shoes continue to sell out, you're still not happy. Again, there's no pleasing any of you, so I don't know why any brand would ever try. But you say, oh, it sits. Okay. They're really like, hold my Gatorade. Since you think things sit, we'll make it so they don't sit. And then you deal with the aftermath of it, because that's what's happening right now with resale market and bots and everything else that makes it so extremely difficult to just enjoy a shoe. They're not touching that supply. They'll monitor demand, but they're not touching that supply. They said they're going to be cautious. So yeah, now I do think a way for that to be improved upon is allowing pre-orders. I would actually entertain that, right? Think about it. For the pairs that you know will come out, if you could just place a pre-order during certain quarters of the year, let's say you could place a pre-order during 1 month for 4 releases that would come out in a 3-month time span and go about your business, I would do that. It means I for sure get the shoe in, I get it in my size, and I can get the color I want. That's not happening, but I would like it. I would entertain that, absolutely. But I don't necessarily see that happening. So beyond that, listen, now we'll get to the whole the whole app part. So Eddie touched on that, when it comes to sneakers, the app in itself, that Nike has bigger plans for it. They want you to engage and be enthralled in it like you are on Instagram and Facebook. They want you addicted to that, just like you are to all of these other social media platforms, where you feel you need to check in to see who's doing what and who's wearing this and who has on that. Yeah, I believe Eddie 100%. I think that's probably the route they want to go. Probably. I could see that being that, which for me, that takes away from the experience, but I could see it being that. I go to certain apps for certain things. It's one reason why I'm not on Facebook like that. I don't need to scroll and just see people's families and their personal thoughts all the time over mundane stuff. That's why I'm not on Facebook like that. I don't go on social media apps for that. So I don't know that I would check into Sneakers App like that. But when it comes to Nike in itself, and they do talk about their apps, clearly technology plays a role in their success. They talk about our Nike app. They didn't say our sneakers app. They said our Nike app. And they said that app grew 200% in terms of the users and the subscribers. Like, we're not subscribers really, but I guess users, members that are engaged on the app. Now, if you are not aware, I'm just going to double check, make sure I haven't lost my mind or anything. I don't think that I have. I'm looking at this Nike. Okay, so Sneakers app is a white background with red text. Okay. The Nike app has a white background and it's just a black swoosh, and that's it. That's the app they're talking about growing. Not Sneakers app. They do mention Sneakers app in the transcript, and in the call, but they're talking about the Nike app. For me, being on that app is what gets me in trouble. Seeing every new actual item put out for sport, for fitness, for movement, what shoes and hoodies and sweatpants and all that was meant for, that's what ends up getting me. And that larger consumer that cares about that, not Jordans and retros and collaborations, that's who they're targeting. So when you whine and complain on a Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and every other day that a shoe comes out, that you don't get it, I'm sorry, you're not their focus. Because they are winning without having to cater to you. And as much as you complain, you don't go anywhere. You're like the person that complains about your significant other to your friends, and they all know you're going to return back to them. So after a while, they stop entertaining the rhetoric. Which is why when you all complain on Saturdays about Sneakers app, I just keep scrolling. I can't listen or read the rhetoric because you have an option. We all have options to just not entertain it or subject ourselves to it, but we still want the shoe, so we still do it. But you either find a different way, or you understand that you're not the top priority. Nike and sport as a whole, sport, not you as a sneakerhead, is what they're focused on. So you can go ahead and sound off in the comment section and let me know your thoughts about this video. I'm pretty sure it ran a little long. That's fine. It's cool. I appreciate you for tuning in. As always, extra age, not your shoe size, and whatever you're going after, hopefully you got it. Peace.